Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I wanted to show you guys this look that I created. I will have pictures up on my Instagram as well if you want to see pictures that I took. And this is basically a interpretation of oh my gosh, I don't want to forget her name, Catherine Bedell page. She did a look like this. I was looking for like pink looks, and I gravitated towards the one that she did, so I did an interpretation of that. I try to be as similar as possible, but obviously I'm not gonna remember all the steps and all that stuff, so I kind of interpreted it mostly close to what she did, but in my own way. So I hope you guys like this look, and don't forget to like and subscribe below and check out my other videos as well. Bye. Okay, so I'm starting off with the Tarte Poreless primer. It's a mattifying primer actually, so I'm gonna put that in my T-zone area. Basically gonna put it in all the areas that I tend to, my pores are like more prominent in, which is usually my T-zone area because I'm oily. In this area, I already moisturized and all that stuff prior, and I have like a line on my forehead from my wig cap, so excuse that. And I'm not keeping this makeup on, so I'm not gonna go hardcore with the tone in it, with the primer and stuff like that. So I'm just gonna let that soak into my skin a little bit, and I'm going to use the Laura Mercier foundation primer that's oil free. I'm gonna use that on the rest of my. I'm just gonna use a little bit. Just gonna use that around areas of my face. I'm trying to go very fast here. Okay, so what I'm gonna do next now, I always like to do my eyebrows first. I don't know why, but I just do. So I'm gonna do my eyebrows. I'm going to line them with the Anastasia Brow Wiz. This is in dark brown. Just gonna brush them up. And this video is a little bit shaky. I had such a problem with the lighting. Before I could even start, took me a good 30 minutes to fix this lighting, and it's not really 100% perfect. Okay, so what I basically do is I lightly line underneath my eye after I brush it up. You could kind of see your shape of your brow when you brush it upwards, and you're basically lining underneath it. I find that when I do this technique, I tend to, my brows are more similar, and it's not like, and I'm actually doing my brows to the shape that it actually really is. And then I do that on the other side as well. Very lightly, with a light hand. Okay, so I did get something new that I'm gonna use, and I just remembered, and I started off with this, but it's okay, I didn't really do anything. So for my BoxyCharm box, I wanted to use some of the stuff in this makeup look. So I got this, which is the, where is it now? Here it is, the Winky Lux. It's an eyebrow pencil, and basically you have one side with the brush, one side with like a thicker, more brow. It says it's supposed to be like a universal brow color. Let me not read that incorrectly. Okay, so it's supposed to be a unibrow. It's a unibrow universal eyebrow pencil. So basically, I guess it's supposed to be for everyone, I'm assuming. Okay, so I'm gonna use this. I want my brows to actually be more on the natural, well, I mean, I talk too soon. Now I'm just kind of taking this in the center of my brows and I would really like to zoom in, but unfortunately my camera's not the greatest. So it's the best I could do right now. So I'm basically starting at the end and just kind of filling in my eyebrow shape that is already there in existence. I have kind of wide brows, I just don't have like thick hairs. And I'm taking like gentle strokes. I actually really like this. I thought it would be, you know, more stronger. Like I thought it would go on more darker, but it doesn't, which is good because that allows me to build it up to where I want it to be and not completely dark right away. I'm not sure if I'd use this. I'm not sure how well it would work in the front because I usually flick my hairs up in this area to give the impression of strokes. And this is a little thick, so I'm not sure how well that'll work. But I'll do my best. I'm gonna have to go with some powder in that area. I have an idea of what I'm gonna do, but it's really like not really the best like thought out process right now. I find like when I try to plan it, I never come on, and that's not right now. Okay, I think they're looking pretty natural. What you think? I think they're looking pretty natural. Let's just do a little bit of something. Okay, so now I am going to clean them up with I'm going to use my MAC Studio Finish in NW45. So that one, NW45. I'm pretty sure you can't read that, but I'll repeat it down below. The brush that I'm going to be using is Morphe M432 brush. I use this just to, I don't know why I'm so addicted to using this for my eyebrow. It's not really like a angled brush. It's just a very flat brush. So I'm just going to dip that in there. And I'm going to line right directly underneath my eye and clean that out. And I like to do both at the same time and let the concealer sit in on my skin for a little bit before I blend it out. And generally, I stopped going above my eyebrow, but now I gotta do it. You know, I don't go with like an extremely light color, and I just go like right above it. I just want, when I want like a really cleaner, sharp look, I go above my eyebrows. All of it will blend in the foundation. So, and I'm going to blend it out with my, and I use it quite often. This is a Sonia Kashuk brush. I'm not sure exactly which one it is, but it's like a slightly beveled, small, flat brush. I usually use that underneath the brow. And then on top, I actually use a brush that I had for so long. You can see that it looks used and abused. This is an e.l.f. foundation brush, like one of the very first ones they made. It's not quite the same now, the ones that they have now. This one I find is way flatter than the ones that they have now. The ones that are a little bit thicker. I use this above my brow. Okay, I think I like my brows. I think I like the way they're looking. They look natural. I mean, not natural like, you know, but they don't look like completely drawn on. I like to also use my brush and brush forward my real hairs a little bit, just so you can see the hair. It's like when you see hair, it's so much more realistic to me. This is just all my opinions. So I do that on both sides, just the very front. And at the same time, it's sort of blending out my brows a little bit. Okay, so I'm gonna leave it there. I have to be back. Be right back. Excuse my background. It's hot and I have to open the door. I need the air to get in here. Okay. All right, so now we're gonna move on to priming my lids so I could start my eyeshadow application. I'm gonna do my eyeshadow first. I find that it's just a little bit better for me when I do that. I don't have to worry about my skin being touched by my hands and anything happening to what I've already done to my face. So, excuse me. I'm gonna do my eyebrows first. Oh my God, my eyeshadow. All right, so I'm gonna use the same brush that I use for my eyebrows just to get the remainder of the concealer that I use all over my lid. And first I'm gonna just make sure I don't have any oil just build up from since I've been doing this on my lid. And I'm basically just going to swipe it on. This is why I like doing my eyes first, because it's like I don't have to be super neat. If anything happens, it's okay, because I could clean it up very easily. I don't really go very heavy either with the concealer around my eyes like that. It's like I don't do that heavy look. I just don't. It's a preference. I'm trying to like become more like that a little bit, not too much, because my aesthetic is not really like that. But I'm trying to, you know, incorporate different styles into my routine. So I'm just gonna bring that up here and out. And I'm going to use this, let's see. I'm going to use this brush. It's a Morphe M713 brush, and I'm going to use that to just kind of buff out the concealer on my lid. Okay, so now I'm going to use my Anastasia Beverly Hills Contour Kit. I'm going to use this just to kind of like create a base for my my eyeshadow, just like right here. So I'm going to use one of the colors that's more towards my skin or more flesh tone. So I'm going to use that color right there. Don't ask me what color that is. Okay. It looks like it might be espresso, possibly. All right, so I'm just going to get like a fluffy brush. The brush that I'm using is it's a scone blending brush. That's all I know. All right, so I'm just gonna go above, like right here in this area, just to create a little, just to set that concealer a little bit, so that way when I apply any color, it's gonna blend a little easier. I won't have so much stickiness. I'm just gonna do it 2 times. There's gonna be times when you have to, before you apply the shadow again, go back in and buff out your concealer. I mean, you can probably set the whole eye with the color that I used before, but there's gonna be times when I don't do that, so I just kind of go back in and make sure that I don't have any creasing before I apply my eyeshadow. I'm using the ABH Renaissance palette for this look, and I'm going to be using, the first color I'm going to use is Burnt Orange, which is that color right there. And just very lightly, I'm just going in there very lightly. I know my hand's closer up there, but I am going lightly. Okay, now I'm gonna go in with this color right here, Real Gar. And I'm gonna use the same brush. I'm just gonna use this Morphe E27 brush as my blending out brush. So there's no product on here. I'm just using it to blend. Oh, I keep looking that way. I keep looking in the mirror. I'm going to use it to blend out the colors that I just applied. Very, very lightly. I'm not even going really hard in because you don't want to take away what you just did. I didn't put a lot, so I like to build up. I think that makes a little bit more sense sometimes. Well, I mean, obviously it does. Okay, so I'm going to now go in with this color, Red Ochre, and I'm going to use a smaller brush. I'm actually going to use this Morphe M562 brush right here. And I'm using this brush because it's smaller, and it's going to give me more definition where I need it to be, and also it's going to keep the product where I want it to stay, basically. I don't want it all over my lid. I'm gonna now going with this color Venetian Red right here, and I'm gonna use the same Morphe brush, the small one that I was using with the other color. I'm gonna use that same brush. Okay, so now I'm gonna go in with Love Letter right here, and I'm gonna also use the same brush in the crease. This is definitely a lot of layering of these colors. I'm creating a lot of depth in my crease right now. I'm about to grab the wrong color. I'm gonna blend it out real quick just to, make sure. I'm using a light hand, like I said. I'm gonna apply Love Letter with a semi-flat brush. This is the e.l.f. Shadow C brush, and I'm gonna use that to go on my outer and inner V. I'm gonna use the same color Love Letter, basically. I'm just so off in this video. I'm sorry, I apologize in advance. I'm so off in this video. I'm gonna actually add Vermeer in the center of the lid. So one of my eye is actually more hooded than the other, so I had to, you know, do my makeup skills just a little bit better. This eye is more hooded than this eye, so I have to bring my makeup up a little bit higher with this eye so that it doesn't look too off. So basically this is going higher than it normally would. See? So I'm using e.l.f. my bad, NYX glitter glue to put, I'm gonna put some glitter glue in the center, and this is where I'm gonna add my glitter. I'm using my Fairy Farts palette. That's the palette I'm using, and I'm going to be using that color right there, that glitter, that pink. It's like a fuchsia burgundy pink. Okay, so now I'm going to blend Love Letter all around my glitter. And I'm only using the side of the brush, by the way, not the whole entire brush. This is a bigger brush that I'm using because I want to blend it a little bit quicker. Just basically blending around the glitter so that it doesn't look so, you know, stand out so much. So I'm going to take some of the Venetian red that I used earlier and just go around that color to add more depth around the color. I'm going around the edges of the glitter. If I lose the glitter, it's okay, because I could always go in with like a glitter brush to amplify it more. But the glitter should not be taking over the look. I'm just gonna go in with my E27 brush and blend out the edges a little bit so that it's not so strong. So now I'm gonna go in with this color right here, which is Cypress Umber, and I'm gonna put that in a crease just to give it more, I mean, I think it has definition, but it's like it's just missing a little bit of a darker color there. Then I'm gonna blend that out a little bit. So I have this NYX Roll-On Shimmer. This is, what the hell color is this? Oh, mauve pink. I'm just gonna add a little bit of that with my fingers, like a dusting of it on top, just to kind of give it a little dimension. Just kind of feel like it's missing something. Okay, so I'm going to now tight line my waterline, but I'm going to use powder. I'm using this palette from Real Her. I got this in a BoxyCharm, I think it was June box, and I'm using the color Smart. This color right here is like a really black color, and I'm using an angled brush. This is my Morphe M165 brush. It's like a slightly angled brush, but it's not too thin, it's like a little bit thick. Okay, so I'm using my lashes from my line, Pretty Stushy, and these lashes are Stush. Classic Stush. So I am now going to apply my foundation. Actually, This is Dollhouse Cosmetics, their Perfect Finish Foundation. This is in DC3. I'm doing one more pump just to add where I want more coverage to be. This is a really liquid foundation, so it's not like it's you have to build it. Okay, so this is also the Dollhouse Cosmetics pressed powder in matte cocoa. I'm just gonna use this to set my foundation really quickly. I don't always do this. Sometimes I do this last, but for some reason today I wanna put this on before I do my highlighting. I'm gonna also use today, I'm using a lot of Dollhouse products today. I'm gonna use the DW3 concealer from Dollhouse Cosmetics as well. Snatch that nose, honey. To finish off to set my highlighter, I should say, I'm going to also use the Dollhouse pressed powder. It's a HD finishing powder in Barely There. I'm just going to use all Dollhouse products today, I guess. I didn't intend to, but I guess that's what happens. This is like a very lightweight yellow powder, so I'm gonna use it a little sparingly, maybe. I have my fan on, so it's like drying my concealer up completely quickly. What I'm gonna do is I'm just going to set. I'm not gonna bake. ABH, of course, Glow Kit. This is in Sun Dip. The color, I'm gonna probably use more than one color. I'm gonna be using a mixture of these two colors together. I'm trying to stay, sometimes this can come off a little ashy, so just be careful. And I might put a little gold deposit on top. See, it comes, sometimes it can go a little ashy, so I try not to put too much of that color. I'm like really seriously in love with MAC Gold Deposit, so it's like I cannot help but to use it. I just want to play games with somebody now. So I'm gonna mix some of MAC Gold Deposit, a little bit of that. So this blush is, and the top is broken, so I gotta be careful. MAC Fever, that's the color. I'm gonna use a little bit of this, not too much. I'm not a big blush fan like that. Just adding it to the highlighter and between the highlighter. I didn't put any contour either on this. Okay, so now I'm going back to my ABH contour palette, and I'm going to contour with these two colors right here across from each other. Starting off with the lighter color first. Change my brush. I'm going to use the Morphe E48 brush, which is this one. I could get a little bit more on without having to do too much work. So this is the Morphe M169 brush, and I'm gonna use this brush to add some highlight in the center of my eye and the top of my eye, underneath my eyebrow. And I'm mixing those two colors again, MAC Gold Deposit and Tourmaline from the ABH kit. So for the bottom of my eye, I'm going to add a combination of the Venetian Red and the Love Letter underneath the bottom of my eye. On the inside of my eye, I'm going to be using the Inner Rim Liner by Tarte. This is like a medium, not a medium, this is a light, like a beige color, instead of like a white, stark white. So I'm going to put that on the lower rim. Okay, so I had to go in with the NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil in Milk, because that one was like, my eyes was watering too much. It was not, you wasn't able to see it. It's like, I had too much color, like dark color there. I'm gonna use the Morphe M508 brush, and I'm gonna use this to just add some color into that inner rim on top of that white. And let's see, I'm gonna use Buon Fresco, this color right here in the ABH kit. Okay, so I'm gonna mix these two colors together. They're from the Kiss Me Club, Lipstick Club from Live Glam. Yes, I'm obsessed with these things. This is Royal and Satin Sheets. I'm gonna put Satin Sheets on first, and I'm gonna put Royal like on in the middle. And let me see what lip liner I'm gonna use. Okay, so the lip liner I'm gonna use today is from Chanel. It is number 55 Fuchsia. I'm just gonna lightly line my lip with this. Okay, thanks guys for watching my video. If you've reached here, that means you've watched the whole entire video. I know it was a little bit long and I'm so sorry for that, but I really wanted to show as many of the steps as possible. So if you liked it, please don't forget to subscribe and like down below.